see people coming in great numbers to learn something about equity portfolio today. I hope, I wish, and I promise that the next 2 hours would be very fruitful for you as far as your learning is concerned. Is it not true, friends? The primary purpose of stock market is to fool as many people as possible. So friends, how many of you are attending my session for the first time? How many of you are attending my session for the first time? Give me a check. While you give me a check, here is my quick introduction. Friends, I have been in the financial markets for close to 7-8 years now. I have been a full-time professional trader from the past 3 years. I am a techno fundamental analyst. I am a GAN practitioner. I also trade on positional price action trading, and I am an intraday algo trader. I successfully run intraday algos for my day-to-day activities. A mechanical engineering by graduation with an MBA in finance and planning from Edinburgh University. I spent almost 15 years in the industry. I significant amount of time in the automobile and IT space. After all the travel and consulting life, I decided to take up entrepreneurship as a journey. Now I play predominantly in the fintech space, and a lot of projects I am driving parallelly. You will get to know about all of that in due course of time. With that intro, I would like to move on, friends. So if anybody wants to refer to all my previous video, you have to go and follow my channel in YouTube. Go to YouTube, type my full name, Ashok Devanampriya. Okay, and you will reach my channel by name Precision Price Action Trader. You can go ahead and subscribe, and all the future videos would be uploaded there. Okay, there are close to about 25 powerful price action videos that has been loaded based on the interaction that I had with my fraternity in the last 2 years. So it's a good knowledge base. Go ahead and subscribe. Now let's come to the story of Corona. Well, we are in one of the most turbulent times. In fact, the current situation is considered to be more brutal than the 1929 Great Depression that happened in America. So as such, friends, 2020, if you ask me personally, there are a lot of conversation that's going on about a Spanish flu which came in the year 1920, and another 100 years back there was a plague and host of other things. Let me give you another perspective. The first recession of the world happened in the year 1839. Exactly 90 years later, in the 1929, the Great Depression of America happened. And exactly 20 years later, which is 2019-20, we face one of the worst times in markets. That's called officially a 90-year cycle of WD-GAN. It's another interesting topic, but that's just I wanted to give you guys a perspective about what we are facing today. This problem is very unique. It's not comparable with anything that has happened in the past. So the future can react in whichever way possible. So as investors and traders, we need to be cautious in terms of what we are going to do. All the world markets have been impacted. To be honest, though Corona started in the Wuhan province of China, China has recovered very fast, not only from Corona, but also from financial market crisis. Their markets have recovered maximum. Indian markets fell more or less 40%, and now roughly we are at around 20-25% levels. The way in which market reacts in the subsequent days is very unclear. It is unknown. Nobody can say what's going to happen. But if you ask personally, as Ashok and his opinion, I strongly believe that the worst times is ahead of us. I strongly believe that the worst has not yet happened. What you have seen is just a trailer of the problems. Why is that? More details inside. I have been telling this from the last 2 years. The markets were already in peak with Nifty PE topping out between 28 to 30 levels. I have been shouting. The economy was already in ICU for a long time because we never saw any outstanding quarterly results coming from any of the large cap companies. Corona fear was just a cause. Okay, it was just a reason for market to fall. Market actually was willing to fall, but it wanted a reason, and Corona came as an out of syllabus scenario. Because all the previous problem like SARS, Anthrax, Nipah, they were not a global phenomenon, friends. They were all pockets. They were in various pockets of the world. But Corona is present in all the 198 sovereign countries of the world. It has touched every nook and corner of the world. And people say social distancing is the only solution. Now tell me, how do we live with social distancing? With social distancing being the primary action point until a vaccine arrives, how does it impact the economy? How does it impact various ways we do business? I am damn sure majority of the industries would be shattered. Which are all the industries which might capture the positivity of social distancing? If you all don't know, let me give you a hint. Zoom, one of the largest online webinar application like GoToWebinar, it recorded 300% growth in the last 3 months for no damn reason. Businesses will definitely take a long time to recover. So we need to remember this fact before we move on. So fear is always dangerous, right? But the fear of future is a lot more dangerous. And that's what is going to limit consumption. And when consumption gets limited, the economy will crawl. Cash will not flow smoothly. So where are Indian market today? Friends, more or less, Nifty is currently trading at 9,000 levels. After reaching 12,400 levels, it tanked. Okay. But if you guys ask me personally, what is a great level for me? I strongly believe the best level for me would be, let me take up Nifty. So here is Nifty 50 chart. Okay. The Nifty 50 chart has fallen from the 12,400 levels to almost 40% it has fallen. Okay. I have this one beautiful level which I strongly believe to be very good and beautiful. This is the level where I would love to take a strong trade. All right. That is a level where I would love to take a strong trade because that is one of the most powerful level where the long-term sellers were destroyed by the long-term buyers in the market. The price has already tanked by more than 40%. From the peak till here, it went back and it is playing here. I would be happy if market comes here, respects this level and travels ahead. This is my strongest zone. Okay. And 6,300 levels of Nifty is my great zone to play because that is a very powerful. We call it something as a power pattern in price action language. It is a powerful flag limit zone on the monthly chart. So I would say 6,300 level is a great level to enter stock markets. You remember, guys, there was a saying, when Nifty reach a particular point, people say buy, sell your house and buy something. This is one such levels which I am strongly waiting for. Anyway, let us go back to our studies. Can everyone give me one more check that you're able to hear me? Okay, thank you. Now, stock markets take 10 years generally to recover from the bottom. Always. That is the reality of stock markets. Only selective sectors and stocks would outperform. Why this so-called buy and hold philosophy doesn't holds good is that if you look at Japanese Nikkei index, in the year 1982 it reached its global peak. 1982. So where are we now? 2000. Almost we're touching 2022. Almost 40 years we're completing. Even today, the Japanese index has not reached its previous historic peak, which means 2 generations are over. If your grandfather had invested 40 years ago in the Japanese market, even today he would not get his money back. Be you being a grandchild. That is the story. Okay. Now what happened to the large caps of the Indian markets, which are called as the big brother? It fell more than 40%. It immediately recovered and the price is roaming around 75% levels. Okay. Now, the best strength of this level, I strongly believe, is again the 50% level. The 50% level is called as the Gann power of 8 zone. Okay. It is that point where there is tremendous amount of exchange of stocks between sellers and buyers. The long term buyers, see, remember this part, there are people who trade on 1 minute level, there are people who trade on a daily level, there are people who trade on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Even people who trade on yearly levels are called long term traders. That there are people who trade neck beyond that, 10 years, decade level. Those guys are called as super long term traders, and those guys would only come at such great levels. Okay. Now, what about mid caps? Mid caps almost collapsed 50%, close to 50%. Now it is playing around 40% from the 40% level from the peak. Okay. The large caps fell 40%. The mid caps fell close to 50%. Okay. That's the reality. Now the best strength again for mid caps exists exactly at the 50% level. And what about small caps? The small caps fell more than 50% to almost 40% level. That we call it as 60% fall. Can you benchmark all the three? What happened? The large caps fell 40%, the mid caps fell 50%, and small caps fell 60% from the peak. Now where are they right now? The small cap is at around 50-55 levels, the mid cap is at 60 levels, 60-65% levels, and the large cap is at 70-75% levels. They're not too far. Does it really matter for you? How many times you would have heard the large caps are safest, small caps are the biggest problem? What big deal? You take a small cap which fell 60%, but your large cap also fell 40%. The moral of the story is, friends, you should not crib too much about large cap, mid cap, and small cap. All you have to do is focus on those stocks which are very good in nature, which have some special abilities for them to sustain a long period of time with a sustainable long-term growth. We are going to micro details of all of that. We will go to individual stocks and we will analyze at a deeper level. Okay, so bear with me for a few minutes from now. So those of you who have lost money in markets in the last few months, don't feel sad, because there are a lot more people who are a lot more unlucky than you. This was in the year 1976 that Ronald Wayne sold his 10% stake in Apple for just $2,300. If it is today, I would throw that money on the table and my stop loss would be zero. I don't care. Okay. So there are people who miss tremendous amount of glory, success, fortune because of a very, very small mistake in their life. Okay. We should not repent. Our best times are ahead of our times. We are not the only unlucky souls. How many of you know this? Next. So let us study some sectors. Which sector will fight corona better? Any idea? Let me give it to the audience. Mention the sector which is the best sector to fight corona today. Pharma. Dheeraj says pharma. Manish says service. Pratik says consumer. Wow. Okay, so many answers. Very difficult to read. Someone says baby products, chemical, FMCG, agri, telecom. No. Yeah. Telecom doesn't require social distancing. Online education, IT. Brilliant. Now let's see where they are today. The first sector for us to discuss is the banking sector. I call him the struggler. Why should I call him the struggler? Because he was already struggling well before corona. It was like this. There was a guy who had fever and he met with an accident next day. So double injury. That was the status of banking sector. In the first quarter, it was already beaten 50%. Last quarter, which is the last quarter of the financial year 2019-2020, it fell, and banks were already troubled with all the bad loans and the mounting debt crisis. And I personally believe that there is a lot more fall that is pending in the banking sector. And hence, I would love to stay away from this sector right now. Any arguments? Anybody who has an issue? No, this sector will do well. All right. My next sector is the Nirvanist. That is the FMCG sector. I call him Nirvanist because no matter what, irrespective of corona, even corona pa baap, let corona's father, grandfather, entire Kandhan come from wherever they are. They cannot shake this sector so much. Look at that last quick fall candle here. It's a classic example on its strength and recovery. There was a major doji candle that came, a fall, and suddenly it went. It went till how much? 66% level. 66% level is nothing but what? 33% fall, and it went up. Okay, it recovers fast because it carries the confidence of the masses, and this is one sector which is predominantly recession proof because the day-to-day activities will never change. I never stop brushing because there is a recession. I never stop taking bath because there is a recession. I will always use my shampoo irrespective of there is a recession or not. So our behavior will always continue. Okay, so entering the stocks at right levels will definitely get great returns. So Ravi is asking, why do you call him a Nirvanist? A Nirvanist is one who is not impacted by anything. He's a yogi. So this sector is that yogi. If you treat them as an individual, he is a Nirvanist. The next sector is opportunist. How many of you agree is an opportunist? The pharma sector was brutally beaten in the last 4 years. Look at the fall in the chart. It was completely beaten. Regulations, US FDA issues, performance issues. almost 50% fall. And now the time has come for this industry to rediscover its edge. There are two things to it. Corona can create lot of health awareness among the people. Second, there will be the amount of spending on healthcare from every individual, irrespective of whether you have corona or you don't have corona. Your spending habit will change towards healthcare. You will start respecting it. Okay, that is one thing. That's why I call the sector an opportunist. Any argument so far? People are understanding? Am I boring? Ashok, you're boring, you're disturbing, uninteresting. Anybody? Or you're happy so far? Because we are still in the trailer. Okay, the cinema is ahead of our time. All right, sounds good. I have spent 4 days preparing this PPT, by the way. All right, the next sector is the loser, and I'm damn sure every one of you accept that. He is surely a loser. Correct? Any arguments? Real estate is one sector which never recovered from the 2008 crisis. Okay, here is the interesting part. This is a peak of real estate sector, and then it fell, recovered a bit after the subprime crisis again. So the last 10 years of dryness, the decade of dryness is real estate sector. Okay, this is one sector where investors never trust, because they believe these real estate companies would cook up their books. Okay, they will hold lands at higher rates, they don't disclose the real value, and so on. So this is one sector which currently I stay away with, because I believe in the days to come, in the future, I don't want to touch a company which has number one real estate, number two troubled by government regulations, number three compliance, or any of those things. Okay, so there is a concept called abyss in my learnings and theories. I have a theory called abyss. Abyss is one of the deepest trench in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, this whole concept of marking is called as WD Gann power of 8. This is an automated program that runs. Okay, it is my proprietary tool which I use for my analysis. Okay, it divides the entire zone into 8 powerful parts. And once this 12.5% zone, anybody, any sector, any company, if it falls in this zone, it is very dangerous to recover. We call it as abyss, because abyss is the most deepest location in the Pacific Ocean, which has one of the deadliest animals, deadliest creatures. So in the stock market also, once a stock goes into that region of abyss, he is done. He has no future, no options. Okay, so the concept is very simple. We divide the peak, take the bottom. We will divide that entire zone into 8 pieces. Midpoint 50%, 75%, 25%. Okay, that is 4 pieces now so far, and I further divide those 4 pieces into 8 pieces, and those 8 levels have different numbers. And 50% zone is generally the most important zone, and the worst zone is 12.5% zone. Any stock which comes inside the 50% zone and reacts is a strong zone. Any stock which breaks the 50% zone and go down is pretty weak, and it might not go and beat that level again. Okay, this is a different science altogether outside the purview of our conversation today, and let's move on. And the next sector is the IT sector, which I called as the old horse. Why we call it as old horse? He is again a horse with good horsepower, but not as powerful as it was before. There was a time the IT industry used to grow at a massive 30 to 50% quarter on quarter. But today the industry is having its own challenges. How many of you are techies here? How many of you are from the software industry? Do you all know 2 decades ago when we were about to enter the IT industry, or 5 years before, in the late 90s, there is to be advertisement of Horlicks and Boost telling, if once I grow up, I will become a software engineer. It was, I will become a pilot, I'll become a scientist. From that, they jumped into, I'll become a software engineer. And now I don't think those ads are any more relevant, because IT industry is just any like any other industry today. If you are not working in any of the innovative products and product development kind of things. Okay, now let me tell you an interesting perspective here. Give me your attention and watch the charts carefully. This was the peak of the dot-com boom, Y2K era. This was pre 9 bar 11 WTC attack. If you take that straight line, check this. In the year 2016-17, after 17 years, the IT sector was there only. If you have understood this math, give me a buzz. The IT index, I took the peak of 2000. I just took a straight line, and then the index went up. Of course, it broke and went ahead. Again, it came, touched and went ahead. If you remember, friends, let me tell you one thing. Now the price has come to almost 60-62% level. All right. If it falls another, if it had fallen another 5 to 10%, technically it would have been the disaster of 2 decades. 2 decades of dryness. You might be asking, Ashok, what nonsense? 20 years back, IT industry was elsewhere. Today we have traveled so much. We have created world-class products, great applications, great, devices, and the way we connect, the way we interact, everything has changed. There's tremendous change. Agree. Who cares? Who cares about it? Okay, 20 years back, we had a very, very huge desktop computer. Today, you have an iPad or a mobile where you do everything. So what? The market is not rewarding you. The market is not giving you the respectable valuation for so-called things that you have done. To clarify what I mean, here is my example. Infosys used to command 100 PE valuation. Today, Infosys commands just 15 PE valuation. How many of you understand that? There was a time Infosys commanded 100 PE valuations, which means if the company profit is X, the company profit for current financial year is X, the company was valued at 100 times. But today, in 2020, Infosys is only valued at 15 times its current annual profit, annual earnings, which means the market or the masses are not willing to respect and give this industry its olden glory. Okay, so that is the point. So this industry is again has its own challenges today to grow and rediscover itself. Well, somebody is asking, Ashok, what is the chart you're using? These are all quarterly charts. These are all quarterly charts. Okay. Anyway, hope you guys got the perspective. Let us move on. And how many, anybody argues that the horse has become old or not? Any questions so far?